Welcome back. Today I want to share something most men will never hear. Not from their friends, not from the internet, and definitely not from the women they are trying to impress. We're talking about the 15 hidden weaknesses that women themselves aren't even fully aware of. And more importantly, how understanding these can change the way you approach attraction forever. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't about having the flashiest car or the biggest bank account. It's not about chasing harder, texting faster, or saying the right lines. It's about something deeper, a quiet understanding of what really moves people beneath the surface. Most men chase. They try to impress. They run harder on a treadmill that leads nowhere. But if you can understand what's really going on, if you can see past the surface, you stop chasing. You start attracting. So if you're tired of playing a game you were never meant to win, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer map. Not to manipulate, but to connect, to lead, and to attract naturally. Let's get started. Let's start with something almost every man overlooks. Women love the feeling of being pursued, but not in the way you might think. It's not about grand gestures, endless texting, or dropping everything the moment she calls. It's about subtlety. It's about tension. It's about letting her feel that she has to earn your attention. You see, we often hear that women are independent, confident, self-sufficient, and many are. But beneath that strength, there's still a desire to feel desired. A chase, not desperate, not aggressive, but a dance of energy where your attention is valuable, not free. Think about it. When something is too easily available, how much do you really value it? It's the same in attraction. When you're always available, when you offer your time and attention without her investing anything, it loses its meaning. But when you move with purpose, when you stay calm, grounded, and selective, you create space for her to step forward. You allow her to pursue you, and that pursuit, that's what keeps her intrigued, invested, and wanting more. So don't chase. Be worth chasing. Let's move to something deeper, something most won't admit. Women, even the most confident ones, have a quiet fear of being replaced. It's not insecurity, it's human nature. We all want to feel irreplaceable, like we hold a special place in someone's life. But here's the catch. If she feels like she has you completely, with no effort, no uncertainty, she'll start to take you for granted. And once she feels that comfort too easily, the edge of attraction fades. So how do you counter this? Simple. Show subtly that you have options. Live a life where you're not desperate for anyone's approval. Be seen connecting with others, not to provoke jealousy, but to demonstrate abundance. Not in a way that disrespects her, but in a way that reminds her you are a man of value, a man who is not easily replaced, because a man who knows his worth and acts like it commands quiet respect, and respect breeds attraction. Remember, don't broadcast your value, live it, and let her realize she's chosen to stand next to someone she can't afford to lose. Now let's talk about something universal. The need for validation. No matter how confident a woman appears on the surface, deep down she craves acknowledgement. Not flattery, not empty praise. True validation. To feel seen, to feel appreciated for who she really is. But here's where most men go wrong. They hand out compliments like candy. Too often, too easy. You're beautiful. You're amazing, over and over. And when praise is cheap, it loses its value. So what's the better path? Be selective. Compliment her not on surface level things, not just her looks, but on the deeper qualities she rarely gets noticed for. Tell her you admire how she handles pressure, or how she lights up a room, not with beauty, but with energy, with presence. When you recognize what others overlook, your words carry real weight. They feel earned, not handed out. And that's what makes your validation powerful. It's not about being stingy, it's about making your acknowledgement meaningful. Because when a woman feels genuinely seen by you, she won't just hear your words, she'll remember how you made her feel. Now let's uncover something most men completely miss. Women don't just want peace, they want emotional aliveness. Sure, they'll say they want stability, and they do, and to a point. But too much comfort, too much predictability, it kills excitement. It drains the connection. Think about it. When was the last time you remembered a day that was perfectly calm and predictable? Probably not often. It's the moments of contrast, the highs, the lows, the laughter, the tension, that make life memorable. And relationships are no different. If every interaction is flat, if every conversation is safe, you become background noise. Forgettable. So what's the move? Create emotional contrast. Make her laugh deeply, and later challenge her with a thought that makes her pause and reflect. Be warm and fun, but also grounded and firm when it matters. This dance between lightness and depth keeps the emotional waters stirring. It keeps her intrigued, invested. Don't fear a little unpredictability. Handled right, it doesn't create chaos, it builds attraction. Remember, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. A little storm keeps the journey worth sailing. Let's talk about something powerful and timeless. Women love a challenge, not because they want drama, not because they enjoy games, but because real attraction lives in mystery. Predictability? It's comfortable, sure. But mystery? That's magnetic. See, when you lay everything out too soon, your thoughts, your emotions, your entire story, there's nothing left to discover. And discovery is the engine of curiosity. Think about it. What kind of book do you keep reading? The one where you know the ending from the first chapter, or the one that unfolds slowly, drawing you deeper with every page? You are that book. Keep parts of yourself undisclosed, not by being secretive or playing games, but by living a rich, layered life that can't be understood in a single conversation. Let her wonder what drives you. Let her earn glimpses into your world. A man who is fully revealed too soon loses his edge. A man who reveals himself slowly keeps her intrigued, engaged, and always wanting more. Remember, mystery isn't about hiding. It's about inviting discovery, one layer at a time. Let's talk about something fundamental. Women crave comfort, but not the comfort of soft words or constant reassurance. What they seek was deep down is the comfort that only strength can provide. Not brute strength, not loud, showy dominance. I'm talking about emotional strength, mental strength, the kind of steady presence that doesn't flinch when life gets chaotic. Because here's the truth, the world is unpredictable. And in that chaos, women are drawn to the man who stands firm, who doesn't get rattled, who doesn't crumble under pressure. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being anchored, decisive when others hesitate, calm when others panic. Think of a lighthouse in a storm. It doesn't chase the waves. It stands still, shining, unwavering, and everything lost at sea finds comfort in its presence. Be that lighthouse. When you're steady, when you're grounded, when you can hold the line without shouting or folding, you become a source of safety without ever having to say a word. Strength isn't about control. It's about calm leadership, the kind she can lean on without ever having to ask. Let's clear up a huge misconception. Women love to be admired, but they hate being chased. Admiration feels good. It's validating. But over pursuit, it feels suffocating. When you admire her with sincerity, you elevate her. When you pursue too hard, you trap her. And here's where many men slip. They confuse attention with value. They think the more they text, the more they call, the more they show up, the more she'll appreciate them. But in reality, desperation clouds admiration. The right move? Admire, but maintain your distance. Appreciate her qualities. Compliment her genuinely, not excessively. Then step back. Let your space speak for itself. Because when you leave room for her to come toward you, something powerful happens. Your attention becomes a reward, not an expectation. The Stoics teach us, desire leads to suffering. Over-desire leads to loss of dignity. Be the man who can appreciate beauty without needing to possess it. Respect her independence. Admire her grace, but never lose yours in the process. Because a man who gives space earns space in her mind long after he's gone. Let's dive into something primal. Women are naturally drawn to men who dare to be different, the ones who break the mold. Not reckless, not chaotic, but those who aren't afraid to step outside the lines society draws. See, most people follow the script. They seek comfort in the predictable, the safe. But deep down, there's a spark that craves something more. Adventure, risk, the unknown. And women feel that pull toward men who carry it. It's not about being rebellious for the sake of rebellion. It's about having the confidence to challenge norms when they don't align with who you are. Think about it. Would you rather follow the herd or walk your own path? Even if it's harder, even if it's lonelier. When you live authentically, when you have the courage to break patterns, you stand out without even trying. You don't need to announce your rebellion. You live it, quietly, confidently. Because true attraction doesn't come from being louder. It comes from being real. And a man who walks his own path, he becomes the path others wish they had the courage to follow. Let's talk about one of the oldest truths in human nature. We are drawn to what we don't fully understand. Mystery fuels curiosity, and curiosity fuels attraction. It's not about playing games or hiding who you are. It's about resisting the urge to reveal everything all at once. See, most men overshare too quickly. They unload their whole life story in the first conversation, trying to connect. But real connection is built in layers. When you reveal yourself slowly, piece by piece, you invite her into a journey of discovery. She leans in. She wonders. She wants to know more. Think about the books, the movies, the people who stay with you. They didn't give it all away in the first 5 minutes. They made you work a little. They kept you intrigued, and so should you. Not to be manipulative, but to preserve depth, to show her there's always more to discover if she's willing to look. A man who holds a little back, who reveals his world patiently, becomes a mystery worth solving. And mystery, my friend, is what keeps you unforgettable. There's something deeper than affection that women crave, and most men overlook it. It's respect, not just surface-level politeness, but real respect for her mind, her individuality, her values. See, affection is easy to give. Flowers, compliments, sweet words, they have their place. But respect? Respect takes more. It means truly listening when she speaks, not waiting for your turn to talk, not rushing to fix her problems or offer solutions, just listening, with presence, with patience. It means valuing her opinions even when they're different from yours. It means honoring her experiences without judgment. Because deep down, women don't just want to be admired for how they look. They want to be seen for who they are. Respect shows her that you recognize her as a whole person, not just a face, not just a feeling. And when you give that kind of respect, something powerful happens. She relaxes, she opens up, she leans in. Because in a world full of men chasing affection, the man who offers respect stands alone. And that man, he's the one she remembers. Let's move to something that often gets misunderstood. Women don't want to be your whole life, but they do want to feel like an essential part of it. There's a big difference between being needed and being needy. One is empowering, the other, draining. When a woman feels needed in a healthy way, she feels valued, not for fixing you, not for rescuing you, but for the unique role she plays in your journey. She wants to know that she matters, that she adds something meaningful to your life, that her presence makes your world better. Not because you can't survive without her, but because you've chosen her to walk beside you. The key? Balance. Let her see that you appreciate her insights, her support, her companionship, without leaning on her for your identity or happiness. Independence is magnetic, but shared purpose? That's powerful. A man who stands strong on his own, yet makes room for a woman to stand beside him, is a man who inspires loyalty, respect, and deep connection. Because being needed, truly needed, is a feeling few can resist. Now let's uncover a quiet truth. Predictability kills attraction. In the beginning, routines feel safe, but over time, too much certainty turns excitement into boredom. Why? Because humans are wired to crave novelty, the spark of the unexpected, the thrill of surprise. When every text, every move, every word is predictable, the mystery fades. And when mystery dies, so does attraction. So what's the key? Stay dynamic, stay surprising. Be the man who can be thoughtful and wild, calm and passionate, all at once. Not because you're playing games, but because you live fully, with range, with depth. Share a spontaneous adventure one day and a deep, grounding conversation the next. Let her wonder what you'll say, what you'll do, not because you're hiding, but because you're evolving. Think about the people you can't forget. They kept you guessing, kept you learning, kept you feeling alive. Be that man, because unpredictability, when done with intention, doesn't create chaos. It creates magnetism. And magnetism, that's what keeps her coming back, again and again. Here's a truth that doesn't get enough attention. Women crave more than physical connection. They crave intellectual stimulation. Looks catch the eye. Depth holds the soul. It's not about quoting philosophers or sounding like a textbook. It's about showing that you think deeply, that you're curious, engaged, and alive mentally. Because surface-level conversations get old fast. But a man who can speak about ideas, dreams, challenges, who can listen, question, and challenge in return, that man becomes unforgettable. Ask better questions. Challenge her perspectives, not to argue, but to explore. Share your own reflections, your lessons, your evolving thoughts. It's the difference between a spark that fades and a fire that keeps growing. Think about it. How rare is it to find someone who doesn't just hear you, but inspires you to think differently? Be that person. Because when you stimulate her mind, you don't just create attraction, you create respect, admiration, and deep emotional investment. And in a world full of noise, a man who makes her think will always stand out. Let's go even deeper. Beyond attraction, beyond chemistry, women seek something rare. Genuine emotional connection. Surface attraction fades, real connection lasts. It's not about being overly sensitive or trying to fix her emotions. It's about showing up fully, listening without judgment, without rushing to speak. When she shares, don't interrupt. Don't rush to offer advice. Be still, be present. Because what she's looking for isn't a solution, it's connection. She wants to feel seen, heard, understood, not analyzed. Engage with her emotions, not as problems to solve, but as windows into her soul. Ask questions that invite depth. How did that make you feel? What mattered most to you in that moment? Real conversation isn't about exchanging words. It's about exchanging trust. And trust is built one genuine moment at a time. In a world full of distractions, a man who can be fully present, who listens with his whole heart, is unforgettable. Because when you connect with her soul, you're not just another chapter in her story. You become part of the story she never wants to end. Now let's close with one of the most magnetic forces you can ever build: independence. Women are drawn to men who are rooted in themselves. Men who have a mission, a purpose, a life that's already full. Not because they need validation, not because they seek permission, but because they're self-driven. Here's the truth. When you build a life rich with goals, passions, and progress, you stop seeking and start attracting. You become the kind of man who doesn't lean on others for happiness. You invite them to share in a life that's already meaningful. Think about it. Would you rather be the man waiting for someone to complete him, or the man who is complete already, simply choosing who gets to walk alongside him? Independence isn't isolation, it's strength, it's freedom. A man with a purpose is magnetic because he's focused, steady, unshakable. So build your world, pursue your mission, become the man who doesn't need anyone, and watch how many will want to be part of what you're creating. Because in the end, independence is the quiet power they can't resist. Now that you know these hidden truths, understand this. They're not tools for manipulation, they're insights for connection. Because real strength, real masculinity, isn't about chasing, it's about becoming. When you understand what truly moves people beneath the surface, you don't have to force attraction, you don't have to play games. You simply become the kind of man women are naturally drawn to, without noise, without effort, without pretense. The Stoics taught us, focus on what you can control, your character, your presence, your actions, and let the rest unfold as it will. Master yourself and the world responds. So if you found value in today's message, do this. Like the video to let the algorithm know this matters. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear which insight resonated with you the most, and share this with someone who's ready to level up. Not just in dating, but in life. And remember, a high-value man doesn't chase. He attracts quietly, powerfully, inevitably. Subscribe for more Stoic-based life lessons. This is just the beginning.